Hello everybody and welcome to Indie in the Evenings. Sorry we're slightly late. My name is John.
My name's Laurence.
Yes, your mic is working this week.
Yay,
Fantastic.
hooray. Apologies for not being here last week and not giving any warning. John specifically was busy doing hustings.
Yeah, so as Kiel students, you will obviously all now know that elections are on due to the Facebook bombardment that has been going on today.
And the amount of posters and stickers people are giving out.
Make sure you vote, by the way. Vote in the Kiel SU elections.
Exercise your democratic right.
Democracy, it's a good thing. Do it. We will. KUBE was live streaming the hustings last, question time kind of thing. Candidate question time last Tuesday, so that's why we weren't here. But we are back for this.
How did you enjoy hustings, John?
It was stressful, very stressful.
What were you doing for KUBE on that day?
So we were doing so basically I was in charge of graphics and stuff, making sure the live stream was all right, which was great until about 2 hours in when it decided to crash, and then
a robotic woman's voice.
Yeah, there was an issue with our software, but so that was fun.
Live and learn, man. For Varsity, where we'll be doing coverage again.
God,
it'll be better.
Don't even talk about Varsity. I'm shitting myself. So KUBE will be live streaming the entirety of this year's Varsity, 2016 Varsity, between Kiel University and the other one. Staffs.
Dirty staffs.
We'll obviously more announcements will come on that nearer the time. I think it's April 13th.
I am not entirely sure myself.
That date is just ingrained in my mind.
Well,
but yeah,
it's across 3 days this year, which I don't necessarily like. I know why they've made it go over 3 days.
Yeah,
I don't think that'll necessarily stop people.
I'm kind of sad. Well, I'm kind of annoyed actually, because that means more live streaming.
Yeah,
basically.
more
so
work.
That's 3 days of stress rather than just 2. But
is it 2?
Or was
it
it 2?
Just 1?
Or was it 1?
I thought it was just all on one day.
Sports.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, talking about activities and sports, John.
Here we go.
John Peel.
Yeah.
The person who I've never seen do 1 moment of exercise other than to walk outside to pump stuff into his body that isn't going to help.
Not anymore, Laurence.
Joined the gym.
Yes.
And you went on a run.
I joined a gym today. So that's, for those of you who know me, I'm probably one of the laziest people ever.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually done any physical activity since PE in secondary school. So yeah, I joined a gym. That's fun. Just to make sure I don't die.
Yeah. Well, if you can keep at it, it would be great.
That would be nice.
Don't do what I do with my gym membership, where you go once and then just pay for it.
Well, I mean, I don't really have an excuse because I live right opposite exercise for less. So
every time you look on your balcony, it's there right in front of you.
It's staring me in the face. But yeah,
you just got to get past a 2-week regime where you do it, and then by that point, it's apparently ingrained in you.
Fair enough.
The first 2 weeks are difficult.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow, Thursday, and I think we're going swimming on Saturday.
Oh, fair enough.
Because the swimming pool right around the corner. But yeah, so that's fun. Anything new in the world of Laurence in the past 2 weeks?
The past 2 weeks? Not really, man. It's just been boring. It's been third year, second semester. It's just one of those stressful periods of time where not much is occurring. A lot of Star Wars Battlefront action going on. But other than that, just been chilling. Man.
Fair enough.
Chilling. What have we got on for today's show?
So we are going to have the usual features. We are going to have Urban Dictionary. We're also going to have Universally Challenged. And we're also going to do the Yik Yak game again.
Which I think we'll do when we do our first bit of music, which will be now.
Imminently, yes.
Yeah. So hopefully that can stretch out for the 2 hours. If not, we'll find something to talk about and we'll get right back to you on
I'm
that.
sure we'll manage it.
Yeah.
We are going to kick this show off with... if I can find the playlist, that would be fantastic. I Feel Better by Hot Chip. We're also going to play some Foals, Spanish Sahara.
Tune.
And we're going to play Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz.
A massive tune.
Followed by another song, just to give us some time to come up with a Yik Yak. We're going to have Jenny Was a Friend of Mine by The Killers. So kicking that off, we are going to have...
I Feel Better by Hot Chip.
And welcome back to Indie in the Evenings. We had a bit of Spanish Sahara by Foals there. We also had Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. And we had...
I Feel Better by Hot Chip.
That's it. Almost got it.
There we go. You know, that's I Feel Better by Hot Chips about the feeling of dread towards climate change and finding warmth in your lover's arms in contrast.
Didn't know
and
that.
Climate change is quite relevant because the winner of the Best Actor award, as everybody knows at the Oscars, Leonardo DiCaprio, used his award speech to give rise to such problems in the world, which I can imagine the Academy Awards weren't too fond because they don't like politically minded speeches.
Oh, not that that's ever happened at the Oscars before.
No, but they don't like it at all.
Yes, yeah. So Leo finally won an Oscar
for The Revenant, which I still haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either. Actually, I need to watch it.
Are you aware of what won Best Picture?
Yeah, I was up when it happened.
Yeah, of course you did. You stayed up until the
Spotlight.
Early hours in the morning.
Yes, we
still haven't seen.
We stayed up till 5 a.m. I think it was Sunday night or Monday morning.
In previous years, I've actually always made an active attempt to try and watch at least a few films that are nominated or expected to win preceding it, so I kind of root for one. But honestly, the only film that I've seen that's actually been won an award for anything was Spectre for Sam Smith's song.
Fair enough. Yeah, I saw Mad Max, which won all
like the
smaller
cinematography-esque things, which I overheard someone complaining about that, suggesting that it isn't a well-written film and all this stuff. And I was like, it's not necessarily that. The whole point of the film was the spectacle of it. And if a film wins all those awards for cinematography, sound editing, you know you're going in and you're going to enjoy the filming aspect of it.
It was it's a fantastic film to look at. The plot leaves something to be desired. But as you said, it's not really about that. Like Mad Max has never been about
it's
that,
not really,
to be honest,
about social commentary or the ability of acting. It's more about the cars and the explosions and the fights. And
it looked great,
and it did well. Did
good
it?
Film, good film.
I'm trying to think what other films won everything. So Best Actress was Brie Larson for The Room, which I haven't seen.
No, I haven't seen it either. It's
Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, which I really do want to see because Tom Hanks is in it.
Need to watch that as well.
What else? And The Revenant won Best Director. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. Alexander Gonzalez Inarritu, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, so I'm mainly just happy that Leo DeC won. Not necessarily sure it's his best ever performance, though.
Probably not, but a well-deserved Oscar, definitely.
Eventually he got it. I saw like a funny thing that your flatmate Jack shared on Facebook saying, like, here's a picture of Oscar winning his first Leo, and it was just like a big Oscar with Leo on the little...
Tiny Leo.
Yeah, it was quite amusing. Hopefully it opens up a lot of future awards for him, because he's probably one of the most, if not the most amiable actor in the world, I would have thought.
I'd agree.
Everybody was rooting for him.
Yeah, definitely was his time to win. So yeah, staying up till 5 a.m. was a struggle though.
Yeah, I can imagine. I did it first year, and it was a bit much. Like we were rooting for Wolf of Wall Street that year, but it didn't win.
Yeah,
not surprised by that. I would say that I've heard from many critics and saying it was a weak year for the Oscars. I'm not going to say I agree with that because my inexperience with all the films. I'm not going to say Spotlight didn't deserve Best Picture as I haven't seen it, but none of the film. I didn't even know Spotlight before it was nominated.
No, me either.
I hadn't seen it being in the film in cinemas or anything like that.
No,
so I think
me either.
Possibly it wasn't very well
received.
Not received, but marketed prior to release.
No,
considering the acting that's in it, like Scarlett Johansson and Michael Keaton and people like that, it's reasonably big actors.
Solid cast. But
yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna definitely make an effort to watch all of those films that I missed.
Yeah,
because that was the Oscars.
Yeah. Shall we move on to one of our special show features? That's the one.
That's the word. Yeah. So we are half an hour in. We are going to play University Challenge.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Shall we do that one?
Let's do it.
So, do you remember what you decided to do for your specialist subject that you decided 20 minutes before we would leave for the studio?
My specialist topic was Foals.
Yes, it was. Foals. And mine was the films of Quentin Tarantino.
It was.
So, first of all, we'll do the general knowledge bit. Or do we? Which way do we usually do it?
Yep, general knowledge first. So,
do you want to go first, or shall I?
I'll go first.
This is a 2-0 lead to me at the moment. So this is a big week for John. He doesn't want to do what he did last time. Well, I don't want to do what you did last time and catch up 3-0 down. But I think the questions that I've asked you, at least for your specialist subjects, are doable.
That's
fair enough. A bit nicer.
That's all right.
These are the questions that I did last week for you when we didn't do the show because Hustings ran.
Yeah, so just quickly for anybody new, University Challenged, we do general knowledge round, history question for both of us because we do history degrees.
Yeah.
And then I have a geography one because I do a geography degree as well. And then Laurence does a crime one because that is what he does for a degree.
Yeah. Cool.
And yeah, then we do a music one because we both do the radio.
Yeah. So
and then specialist topics.
Bit, yeah.
So
here's your geography question, John.
Go for it.
What country in Africa is the largest?
What country in Africa is the largest? That's a good question, Laurence. I'm not sure I know the answer.
You sure? I can't really give you any hints because I don't really know much about the country. I know one thing. It's the country that has the longest stretch of the River Nile.
Okay. Is it Ethiopia?
It's not.
It's not.
It is Sudan.
Sudan. Okay.
It is 1.9 million square kilometres.
That's massive.
Which is, I think it's around the size of, trying to think of something comparable. There aren't really many countries I can think of that are similar size. Maybe Argentina, perhaps.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's quite big. Mexico is probably a good comparison, actually.
No, fair enough.
History question. What was the deadliest war or single movement, the deadliest battle or single war movement in history? So it's not necessarily a war, but
the battle.
Not necessarily battle. I was trying to think single kind of movement or colonization. That's probably a better way to give you a clue in the deadliest colonization.
What?
Try to think which areas of the globe were colonized.
I'm guessing it's by the British Empire. So I don't know. I have no clue. No,
is the colonization of the South Americas because the Spanish brought over smallpox and all this stuff and completely decimated the Aztecs and the Mayans and all this stuff. So I think it was something like 125 million estimated died following the Spanish colonization of the Americas. So there we go.
Fair enough.
Are you your music question now? You familiar with Nelly Furtado?
I have heard of it, yes.
Yeah, it was quite big back in 2008, 2009, even earlier. Quite a consistent musical figure in the noughties. Her latest album.
Yep.
If you compare that her albums prior in the first week was sold in excess of, they became gold in the first week, so that's something like 500,000 sales.
Yep.
How many albums did you sell in the first week of her latest? And I'll give you the closest 5,000.
Jeez. So it became gold in the first week?
No, that was her first successful album became gold in the first week. This album was more or less the opposite. That's a clue.
Okay, so the nearest 5,000, how many did it sell? 10,000?
I'll give you that. It's 5,731
Wow,
albums.
that is a flop.
Yeah, it was one of the least commercially successful albums in history for a major label artist.
Jesus, that is atrocious.
Yeah, blamed on marketing for it because it was very poorly written, and also because the album itself wasn't critically that bad, but it said there's a reason why it didn't sell very well is because there weren't many individual singles that stood out as songs that would be catchy and get people's eye.
Okay.
So it was one of those albums where it didn't really have a song to kind of get people to buy it and then go, I might buy the album. So yeah, not very good for Nelly Furtado. So that's a 0 out of 3 for you in the first segment.
Gone well.
No.
That's been great.
Okay, so what my general knowledge, John?
So I've just realised that I haven't actually written you a crime question yet.
Okay.
So that's good.
Well, we could do the first 2 bits. Play a song, you work out a crime.
Yeah,
then we'll get back to it.
Cool. So I have done a history and a music one, so that's
let's
good.
do them.
So I've been watching a lot of War and Peace lately. You familiar with the?
I watched the final episode.
Tolstoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Napoleon is in it.
Yep.
To the nearest 5 years.
Right.
How old was Napoleon when he died?
I'm gonna say he was 66.
Unfortunately, he was 51.
He wasn't very old. He achieved a lot in his time.
In 51 years, he did a lot.
Yeah, he did. Maybe not nice stuff, but he did.
Maybe not good things,
no.
but, you know.
You know, he was actually statistically larger than the average person at the time.
Yeah, because the
rumour is that he's really short.
Really short.
But he was like 5'8", which was quite tall back in 19th century, or what was he? He was 19th century, wasn't he?
But yeah.
You're good.
Okay, and so for your music question, I found a ground question, by the way, so we're all good.
Cool.
Because I was like desperately Googling why you were asking me questions, so I think that's probably why, or one of the reasons I did shit. We're going to blame it on that.
Yeah.
Not the fact that I'm stupid. In which British city was the radio invented in?
I'm going to say it was invented in Nottingham.
Incorrect.
Where is it?
It was it was commercially patented by a bloke called Marconi in 1896 in Chelmsford, Essex, which is about 10 minutes away from where I live.
Fair enough. Is Chelmsford a city?
Yeah, it is now. Well, like a couple of years ago, it was made into a city.
What, did it build a cathedral?
There's been a cathedral there for a while, and then it got city status.
Fair enough.
So, fun fact about Essex there for you.
And also, 90% of the population
are orange. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Okay, heard it all before. Nice.
There was a big immigrant population of Oompa Loompas that came over.
Okay. Nice. So on the subject of Essex, we're going to move into our crime question now, which I've just found. To the nearest 5 million. How many crimes, on average, are committed in the US each year?
To the nearest 5 million.
To the nearest 5 million.
I would say... Oh, God. 40 million.
Less than that.
Less than that.
A bit less than that, yeah. Approximately 12 million crimes are committed in the United States every year, which apparently is worst in the world.
I'm not surprised by that.
No other nation has more than about 6 million reported crimes per year.
I'm not sure if it's...
USA.
Yeah, USA leading the country. Have you ever watched Newsroom? The Newsroom?
I haven't, no.
No, there's a big speech that the person from Dumb and Dumber, not Jim Carrey, the other one, Jeff Daniels, makes. And he's talking about... I think it might have been the first episode, and like one of the crowd asks him, what makes America the best country in the world, which he like very quickly pulls down and says that is only, and how America only leads the world in like 3 separate categories, and that's most murders, most guns owned, and like one other like biggest crystal meth addicted population in the world, and that's all it leads in the world in terms of like
hitting all the good points.
Yeah, so America, to all those who believe they are the greatest nation in the world, maybe not so much. Especially considering how well Donald Trump is, you got a question.
He is a interesting character.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our
general knowledge.
Are we both 0 to 0?
I think that's happened the last 3 weeks. We have failed to score in the general knowledge.
We are shit, basically, is what we're...
I think like last week it was like 1-0 and the week before it was 1-0. So I don't know whether we should just make the questions slightly easier.
We probably should.
I always fear when I'm doing the questions that I don't want to make it too easy and let you win. But then again, some questions I'm like, there's no way he's going to get that.
Yeah, that's true. Right, so we are going to head back into some music before we return for the specialist topic and amongst other features that we've got coming. So we're actually going to play Jenny Was a Friend of Mine by The Killers now. Anything you want to play, Laurence?
Can we play Gun by Churches and Myth by Beach House?
We can indeed. So we are going to kick that off with Jenny Was a Friend of Mine by The Killers. I haven't listened to this in ages.
No, neither have I.
And we had a little bit of,
The Killers.
We had The Killers, Jenny Was a Friend of Mine. I had them all lined up on the playlist so I could read them out properly. But then I fucked it up. And then we had Gun by Churches and finally Myth by Beach House. Welcome back to Indie in the Evenings. Christ alive.
Whilst the music's playing, I'm just trying to find things to discuss about the music that's just played. And I went on Artist Facts of The Killers, and there's a few weird things here. I'm sure you're aware that the main guy, Brandon Flowers, is Mormon, because that's quite common knowledge.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah,
but now I do.
You should watch a video of him on the same American TV show as Richard Dawkins, and Richard Dawkins just completely lambasts Mormonism, and Brandon Flowers just kind of sat there completely
ouch,
unequipped to be able to really challenge Richard Dawkins' intellect on that kind of topic.
Right.
And he just kind of looks like a lost puppy, and it's just quite sad, really, because Mormonism is just so innocent but so silly at the same time. Luckily, I don't think we got any Mormons listening in. Anyway, yeah. Do you know...
Not anymore, anyway.
Yeah. He every time he shaves for 6 weeks, he collects his hair in a sink.
That is weird.
I'll try and...
there's not a picture, is there?
No, but he's just he was speaking to UK newspaper The Independent in 2015. Brandon Flowers revealed that he keeps his facial hair shavings in a bag.
That's
I have
so
a Ziploc
weird.
bag full of hair. I'll grow 5 or 6 days grow. Make sure that the sink is dry. Use an electric razor, catch it in the sink, and then I'll be able to just scoop it in the bag. Flowers added that he started collecting the hair after shaving off his beard and moustache that he sported during the Killers tour in 2008. It's a lot of hair, he said, but it's compact and it doesn't smell. It's all black, but about halfway you start to see some greys. I don't know what to do with it yet, but it means something. I'm not sure it does. I think it's just hair in a bag.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Why? What?
I don't know.
No, don't do that.
That's very strange. The same man... There's a lot of weird things about Brandon Flowers. He has a fear of flying, which as an internationally known band must be a bit of a problem.
Yes.
And he's got a fear of the number 621, which coincidentally is his birthday. And as a kid on a Ouija board, he was told that he was to die on that day. So every birthday he lives in fear.
Happy birthday, you might die.
Yeah, and then there's another one they do. Considering they're mostly Mormon and they kind of strict to... Actually, there was a quote here that was quite funny. The Killers' lead singer, Brandon Flowers, is a Mormon, but he said in 2004 that he does occasionally drink and smoke. The band keeps their rock star decadence low-key, with the drugs and groupies kept to a minimum. Meaning they do keep doing it, but just
on the side. Just
a little bit.
Just a cheeky little bit of that.
Concerning alcohol, the band has a strict daily schedule in their tour ride. Monday, Wednesday and Fridays... they drink whiskey and Absolute vodka. Thursday and Saturdays they drink Jack Daniels and gin, and Sunday is exclusively for tequila. So they can't drink anything else other than those drinks on
That's
those
horrible.
Saturday.
Sundays would be grim.
Yeah,
tequila is disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. Sambuca's worse.
Sambuca is pretty horrible.
Sambuca tastes like... Well, I can't say it.
Just expletives.
Yeah.
Lots of bad words.
Lots of bad words. Anyway... shall we do Urban Dictionary?
We need to do our specialist subjects, mate.
Oh, shit, we haven't.
We do.
God, yeah, I just assumed we got 0 on them because it's just like a safe bet.
Because we're terrible.
Yeah, I just we're on 0. That probably works. Do you want to go? Oh, you went first last time, so you go first this time. You're doing Foals, the band.
The band Foals.
From Oxford. Luckily, that's not a question.
They are from Oxford.
Okay. In what year did Foals form to the closest year? So you got the date and then the year before, year after. I'll give you.
Okay.
Gives you a little bit of leeway because obviously they're not that old.
They've released quite a bit of music.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 2001.
No.
Earlier than that.
Later. They formed in 2005.
2005. Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought they'd been going longer than 11 years. I suppose that is quite long for a band.
Well,
to be fair.
Here's another question that might help establish how long they've been going on.
Is it how
for.
many albums?
Yes, it is.
Is it how many albums they've made?
Yeah, how many albums have they made, John?
That is a good question. One. So, well, if they've been going for 11 years, bands usually produce an album every
3 years.
1, 2, 3 years. So I'm going to go, 9 albums?
No.
9.
9 out of 11 years?
No, I don't know.
No, it's 4.
4.
They've released 4 albums. Yeah.
They only released 4? Yeah, I'm not sure I got 9.
4 studio albums.
I'm not sure I got 9 out of that. I'm just retarded.
Yeah, possibly.
4. I thought they'd release. Well, obviously, I thought they'd release more than that.
Well, I gave you the questions that I thought you'll probably be able to get right. So this one's a bit
really?
harder.
Shit.
Just kind of think about. Don't necessarily think if you know it, but just think about which labels you're aware of. Which major label, or which label that is the biggest are they signed to? Just think of music labels. Also do films occasionally.
Is it Universal?
No, it's not.
No.
It's Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Damn
it.
So I need to get 1.
Oh, I got 0. Shit. I think that's the first week in a long time that I've got no points. That is atrocious.
As of next week, we are making this easier on ourselves, I think.
Yeah, we might just give University Challenge a hiatus for a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But anyway.
Probably for the best.
So, Lawrence's specialist topic is Quentin Tarantino films.
Just need the one.
You know, he's made a few.
He has. How many has he made is the question, I'm guessing?
That is one of the questions, yes. So we'll leave with that as you've just...
How many films
How many movies has Quentin Tarantino
directed?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try and go through them, or as many as I can. So there's Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Reservoir Dogs. Harry Brown.
Yep.
Not Harry Brown. What's it called?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, but that film. There's Inglourious Bastards.
Yep.
Django Unchained.
Yep.
Hateful Eight. God, I'm missing one really obvious one. It's pissing me off. Kill Bill 2. I'm missing one. It's really annoying me. I'm going to go, because I've got 8 at the moment. I'm going to say add 2 more, 10.
Correct answer is 9.
Oh my God.
Yep. Quentin Tarantino has directed 9 films in total.
Which film? Do you know which film I missed?
I do not, no.
Damn.
If you want to have a little Wikipedia.
Ask me the next. Oh no, I can't look at Quentin
don't do that just yet. Yeah. We'll have a look in a minute. First film he ever directed. What is it?
Reservoir Dogs?
Yes, correct. Yep. Reservoir Dogs, 1992 was his first ever film. And the final question, because Lawrence has already won, because he just got that question right. So that's 3 weeks in a row now, is that? Nice, nailed it.
3-0.
Yep, okay.
3-0.
What is the highest budget to the nearest 10 million? What is the highest budget that Quentin Tarantino has ever had for a film?
I'm going to guess it's probably for one of his last 2 films. So it's
you are correct.
It's either Django Unchained or Hateful Eight.
It is Django Unchained.
Okay. I'm going to say it's around 120 million.
100 million.
Just missed out.
$100 million was the budget for Django. And if you actually have a look on Wikipedia now, the difference in budget between Reservoir Dogs, his first film,
massive,
and it's enormous. Like I think it's 2 million was Reservoir Dogs, and then obviously Django is his highest at 100 million.
Okay, I think I named all the big films that he.
Which one?
Actually, no. Surely there's more than. Okay, these are the films that he's supposedly being the director, Quentin Tarantino. Okay, my best friend's birth. I was wrong anyway.
I might have been looking at a different bit of the website, so we'll just ignore that.
So he directed My Best Friend's Birthday in 1987, which I can safely say I've never heard of. Then he did Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Then he did Pulp Fiction. Then he did 4 Rooms, which I had heard of, but I wouldn't have been able to remember it. He did Jackie Brown, not Harry Brown. Good film, you should watch it. He directed Sin City.
Yeah, man.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. Is that what Wikipedia says?
It does say that. I was unaware of that.
Sin City's fantastic, by the way. For anybody who hasn't seen it, it's on Netflix.
It's not very Quentin Tarantino like.
It is quite.
Like the storyline is.
Yeah.
He didn't write the storyline.
The art style is very.
Would you?
Kind of. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's Tarantino, but it's kind of.
I don't know really.
I don't really know.
The essence of blood is quite.
Definitely very Tarantino.
But other than that, he also did Grindhouse, Death Proof, Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight.
Fair enough. So that's more than 9. I was looking at a bit.
Yeah. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3,
Netflix, but
4,
Netflix,
5, 6,
Wikipedia.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 films.
So more importantly, Laurence still would have gotten it wrong anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. He also has directed 1 episode of ER and 1 episode of CSI Crime Scene Investigation.
Fair enough.
Just saying.
So that is the end of University Challenge. Laurence wins for 3 weeks in a row, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I am, once again, the most University Challenged. Not really a surprise to anybody who listens regularly, but there we go. So we're going to go straight into Urban Dictionary, just to try and get our features out of the way so we can bring you some more music. So, for those of you who haven't listened before or have forgotten what it is, Urban Dictionary, we go onto Urban Dictionary, the website Urban Dictionary, and we find 3 phrases. We then read those phrases out, and the other one has to try and guess what the definition for that phrase is. So just a
because
warning.
You went first last time. Shall I go first this time?
Just a warning for anybody who doesn't like
naughty things.
I would tune out now because these can get quite crude, to say the least.
All right. So what is the first word, Jonathan Peel?
My first phrase is friendship cuddle.
I would have said it was just kind of like the literal sense of it. It's literally just 2 friends cuddling it out. But then again, it's Urban Dictionary, so there must be some sexual connotation
you
to
are,
it.
You are kind of, yeah, you are right. It's basically cuddling with sexual connotations. So they've spelled awkward wrong on this, I've just realised. So friendship cuddle is the awkward cuddle. It's fucking throwing me off because it's spelt wrong. The awkward cuddle between 2 friends who are trying not to go too far. So to suggest,
like there is a little thing blooming between them, but if they cuddle for too much, it might spark
I don't know
something.
why you'd cuddle somebody if you're not interested in them, really, because that's kind of a bit too personal. Not to be like.
Depends on the context of the cuddle.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, hug maybe. Like that's not. There's nothing going on there.
I guess
but
so.
Cuddle is more kind of, Anyway,
intimate. Yeah.
So that is friendship cuddle, apparently.
Here's the next one, and I think every student can probably relate to this. Stress hold.
Stress hold.
1 word.
1 word. Okay. Stress hold.
Stress hold.
Stress hold.
What does that word sound like?
I don't really know. What does it sound like? Stress and hold.
Threshold.
Threshold. Okay. Okay. So is it the kind of the limit that you reach? Stress kind of limit before you break down.
The definition is a stress threshold, the most stress that can be tolerated in a given situation.
I've been at that many a time.
Yeah.
3rd year, loving life.
Mm-hmm. What's my next one?
Just this phrase makes me laugh. So the next phrase is Arctic farts.
Arctic farts.
Arctic
I swear
farts.
this one's come up before.
This
sounds very familiar.
I'm not sure you're going to get it. It's just really weird.
Arctic farts.
I just saw it and was like, I have to say that on the radio.
I'm going to say it's when it's really cold outside and you're wearing bottom parts of your clothes, so very thin trousers or underwear, and it's very cold outside, that your fart is visible in the vapour of the air.
I wish that was the definition for this. I don't actually. I kind of saw the phrase, clicked it, and was like, yeah, that's going on. But so the definition is farts brought on by eating whale blubber in the dead of winter. You cannot escape them by going outdoors because it is too cold.
I've read that one before.
You have?
Yeah, I have read that one before.
I think your definition was better. So that Yeah, okay, that was a thing.
Here's another thing that I can relate to anybody who's lazy.
Yes.
And I'm sure everybody's familiar with a certain button on your phone that you have to press maybe a few times a day, maybe just once a day. Snooze feed.
Snooze feed.
Mm-hmm. Snooze feed.
So I'm guessing it's something to do with your alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that where you set up like multiple alarms to get you out of bed, and then you have to like snooze them one at a time? I don't know.
It's not. It's
because I have to do that.
It's another kind of thing like stress hold. What does it sound like? Snooze feed.
Snooze feed. News feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's when you check your news feed on Facebook before getting out of bed, which I think most of us do.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Every day I get up, check my phone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just part of...
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know who
postmodernism
hasn't been messaging you because you're all alone?
Yeah.
Right, and my final phrase is gene jerking.
Gene jerking.
Gene jerking.
How is gene spelled?
All one word, as in the item of clothing.
Okay, gene jerking.
My brother is listening to this, by the way. My 15-year-old brother.
I'm sure he's familiar with it.
Hi, Michael.
I'm sure he's familiar with Arctic farts as well. The last family peel holiday.
I don't even want to know if that's true. So yeah, gene jerking is my final phrase.
I'm gonna say it's when you are very horny in a public situation in which you really need to get your nuts off. Making it difficult for you, am I, John? And you put your hand in your pocket and you try and have a wank while still wearing your jeans.
I've just remembered my mum's listening to this as well, which I forgot when I was choosing these phrases. Hopefully she's gone to bed now as it's past 10. I'm sure I'll get a text.
It's her bedtime.
Being, you know, so just in case, no. Yep, no, she's definitely listening. Hi, Mum.
Oh dear.
So, Mum.
Apologies.
Mum, gene jerking is the act of two individuals rubbing pelvic regions together against each other in order to cause orgasm.
How does anyone achieve orgasm?
So basically, it's dry humping. If you want to know what that is, ask Michael, because I'm not gonna respond to that. So yeah, there we go. So that's gene jerking. That's Urban Dictionary. You've still got another phrase.
I've still got another phrase, but luckily it's not a bad phrase, so you're saved. To be honest, you're usually the one who provides the slightly less crude
I was going
dictionary
all out this time.
For your mum, yeah. So she's listening.
I've got 2 new messages from Mum now.
Okay. So my last phrase before we go back into some music is li-fi. I've chosen all of them that sound like words, and this one's quite easy, li-fi.
Li-fi. Okay. Well, that's obviously something to do with Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Is it anything to do with lying down? I
don't know. But think about the word lie.
Li-fi. I have no idea.
It's when you think you found some open Wi-Fi that you don't have to... that claims to either be free or you don't have to do much and you get free Wi-Fi.
Right.
But it turns out there is a catch and you have to create an account or there is some payments. So that's what Li-Fi is. It's
like Virgin trains.
Yeah, that was the example.
So fucking annoying.
Yeah. The amount they ask for like an hour's worth of internet is absolutely astronomical.
It's because it's the one between Stoke and London's a commuter line, so...
They expect everybody to do it because everybody's going to be working on it.
And the Wi-Fi and the cell signal shit. Right, so that was Urban Dictionary. We are going to jump straight into some music to make up for the disgusting round of Urban Dictionary we just had there. I'm going to play a song for my mum and my brother, Counting Stars by One Republic. We are also going to have Everything's Not Lost by Coldplay. And is there anything you want to play, Laurence?
I'm sure there is many a thing that I would like to play on this. Can we have Default by Django?
Yes, we can. Saw them at Lollapalooza over the summer.
They are really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick that off with Counting Stars by One Republic for my mum and brother. You are listening to Indie in the Evenings. Keep it Cube. And that was Everything's Not Lost by Coldplay. We also had Default by Django Django. And what was the other song, Laurence?
Oh, God, I can't. It was Imagine Dragons, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was Counting Stars by One Republic for my mum.
I always mix up Imagine Dragons and One Republic.
Thank you very much for listening, Mum. And sorry about the Urban Dictionary.
To be fair, if you haven't been listening to previous weeks, that one was actually quite a light tame. One. That was tame, yeah.
Tame by our standards.
What did your mother think?
She said she felt enlightened.
Enlightened? Well, I didn't think we had that effect on people. That's really good. That's a compliment.
Indie in the evenings, enlightening since 2016.
Yeah. Well, we can put that on our CVs.
I'm definitely going to put that on my CV.
Reference my mum.
So we have got half an hour remaining.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little bit of chit-chat.
Yeah. So one of the things that have occurred today, we keel chat anyway, there was, I'm not sure, I feel like this, I could be wrong on this one, but we had a bit of uproar considering we had someone lined up from X Factor who were runners-up as the main act at our Easter ball, and a lot of people were more or less unimpressed by such.
I think there was a sort of meh about it, but
I would say it was a bit more than a meh. It was more like, what the fuck are you doing? Get someone good in.
Yeah.
And they replaced them with Kret and Conan, who came here last year.
They did.
They cost more than they did this year, and Kret and Conan are much bigger now than they were back then.
Yeah, it's actually a really good announcement. Actually,
yeah, it's probably. I would say it's probably the best announcement this year musically in terms of
definitely
how successful the artist is. So Kret and Conan have done work with some big artists like Wiz Khalifa and stuff like that, and they've won numerous awards. Our friend Nilshan might come up to watch. Yeah, so that might be quite good. Kret and Conan are also playing Reading Festival.
They are indeed,
and there are a few acts that you're thinking possibly are going to one day, and we were trying to work out which day was best for you. You said that Red Hot Chili's would probably be the one that you'd want to see. I'd want to see them.
Yeah, so the Sunday lineup, initial lineup got announced. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. So
and it's got Biffy Clyro, Fall Out Boy. The 1975. Let's ignore that. The Vaccines, ASAP Rocky. Trying to think of big other acts. Other than that, it gets a bit smaller. Cagey Elephant, Wombat, Savages. And that's really it of the people that people will know. And Saturday, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Imagine Dragons, Two Door Cinema Club, Cortinas, Haim. I recommend Haim.
Jack Garrett as well. He's a big up-and-coming... I'm not up-and-coming. I mean, he's already, third line on on Reading stage?
He's got the slightly bigger font, which knows you made it.
Slightly bigger font on the Reading lineup.
You made it if you're in the bigger font. Eagles of Death Metal, infamous for recent occurrences in Paris.
Yeah, it's good to see them touring again, actually, after that.
It might have put me off if I was them. Kret and Conan are on the Saturday. So I'm not sure which one I'd choose,
Yeah, and then the Friday we have Foals, Disclosure, Churches, Boy Better Know, 21 Pilots, Diane Wood, they'd be hilarious, Fetty Wap.
I don't know Diane Wood.
They're a South African band, and they are mental.
Are they?
They are nuts. They did what was it? They did a soundtrack for a movie. What was the movie? I think it might be Chappie, and they were in the movie as well.
Right.
Yeah, Chappie's a really good film, by the way.
I've never heard that film either.
I would recommend it. Watched it on the plane coming back from America.
What's it about?
Fantastic. It's about basically robotic police and stuff so using androids instead of people.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, South Africa can get a bit rough sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
So yeah, that's good. And I watched Ex Machina as well. That won Did that win an Oscar? It did win an Oscar.
Did it?
Yeah.
For what?
I'm pretty sure Ex Machina won an Oscar. Good film, by the way. Definitely worth a watch.
Let's give it a little look to see what it won. Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects.
Best Visual Effects, yeah.
Fair enough.
It was up against Star Wars, I think, and stuff like that.
Was it for this year's?
2016 Oscars.
Because it was released January 21st of 2015, so I'm surprised it was released for
because it's
when's the deadline?
The 88th Oscars is for movies that came out in 2015.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Going on from festivals, you think about going one day. I always want to go, but I'm not going to go this year for Glastonbury. But there's some big acts that if you are thinking about going, Muse are confirmed.
I'd love to see Muse live.
Yeah, they're apparently incredibly good live. Kendrick Lamar, one of the biggest artists at the moment, is also on the Friday. Bastille, and then Adele, strongly rumoured. So that probably means
I'd imagine Adele will play Glastonbury definitely, especially after her album this year.
New Order. I'd love to see New Order play. I think that would be an experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Churches, not a lot. Coldplay confirmed.
Yes.
But the artist I'd most want to see at this year's that are confirmed, Electric Light Orchestra.
ELO.
Jeff Lynne's ELO.
That's pretty massive. That would be. I'd love to see ELO.
Yeah,
live.
I would really love to see them. I was saying to you earlier, I discovered the Flaming Lips. Who I've always intended. We should play them actually.
Yeah, we should do that.
I've always intended to listen to them for a long time, and just when I first heard it, just ELO just came to the back of my mind. But I also. One song that I don't know which song you're going to choose for
your choice,
but there's a song that is very, very similar to Cat Stevens' Father and Son called Fight Test, and I was like, oh god, this is really similar to this song.
Okay,
and I just typed in the two songs together, and then there was all this news about lawsuits and stuff.
Oh really?
And Cat Stevens, I like him, but now known as Yusuf Islam, he is one of the biggest arseholes when it comes to his music.
Right.
Like if it's the slightest little thing that's similar to his music, he will sue you for it.
So don't do that.
Yeah,
budding musicians of Keele.
Yeah, because a lot of artists I read something about them. They're like, if somebody decided to copy a little bit of our songs, I don't think we'd sue. We might want to be told prior to it that it's similar, but we wouldn't sue for it. But Yusuf Islam's gone against Joe Satriani, Coldplay, Flaming Lips, and other people. So I don't know why.
On a mad one.
Yeah, he is on a bit of a mad one. So I feel like we should play that now that we discussed it. So I'll just add it onto our playlist on a certain music streaming site. And it's called Fight Test by Flaming Lips.
Sounds good to me.
Anything else?
So we were talking about KUBE TV earlier. A little bit of Varsity hype and stuff.
Yeah.
We were
a part of this 24-hour in a box kind of thing for autism.
Yeah, so those of you who were in the SU last week, you may have noticed there was a giant glass box just chilling in Munch. We did the 2 a.m. till 3 a.m. slot. We played Nevermind the Cubecocks, which is our little spin on Nevermind the Basketcocks.
It was quite awkward.
Was it?
Really. Not necessarily the actual show, but it was because we were recording it live. Well, not live, but we were filming it, and also we used microphones so the video would capture it. And there was a night out occurring at the same time. Yeah. And so because it was in Munch, and Munch is probably arguably the most popular part of people's nights out, especially for the older generation of students, there were a lot of people just listening in to us trying to be funny. Yeah. And it kind of hindered my attempts to be funny, so I was quite caged and a bit like, I'm not going to try anymore. So it was just a bit awkward for me anyway. I don't know what it was like for you. And
I didn't actually notice that. Well, apart from our friend Josh, who walked past,
absolutely hammered,
who smashed
in a toga
and was in a toga. Pretty funny. So yeah, the charity itself was it was Caldwell Children, raising money for supporting people with autism and stuff like that. So that video will be uploaded to YouTube as soon as possible. Yeah. Got a hefty week of editing this week.
Yeah, you do. And
Varsity promos.
Coming,
That
Varsity is going to be hard.
Varsity is going to be difficult, but we are going to smash it. So don't worry.
Yeah. Any other news? Or shall we finish our last 20 minutes with music?
I think we should play some music.
All right, cool.
So we are going to play Fight Test by the Flaming Lips, because obviously we were talking about that. So we'll play that. We are also going to play the Takeover the Breaks Over by Fall Out Boy. Nailed it. well, because just they were on the Reading playlist. Haven't listened to them in a while actually, so play some of that. We will play Wessex Boy by Frank Turner. And is there any songs you want to chuck on there?
Well,
Laurence?
I think we haven't done it, so we probably need to get on it. Is our cheesy section?
Shit, I completely forgot about the cheesy section.
Shall we just have a very hefty music bit and then try and add a little bit of speaking before we
say
goodbye? So I feel like for our cheesy part, we'll play some Natasha Bedingfield, These Words.
Good shout.
And your choice, I would say you could go for the moody, emotionally driven hit White Flag by Dido, or the more uplifting, more light-hearted Grace Kelly by Mika.
Well, I think we're going to go more upbeat, light-hearted.
Yeah.
Nailed it. So yeah, we're going to stick some cheesy tunes on for you there. And then we are going to come back and say goodbye, and then we will be back next week. But yeah, so kicking off the cheesy section, we have Natasha Bedingfield, These Words. And that was Careless Whisper by George Michael, absolute classic. And we had Grace Kelly by Mika, and what was the other one? These Words by Natasha Bedingfield. Nailed it. There we go. So that was the end of our cheesy section. We have 10 minutes remaining of this week's.
The Yik Yak results should be in.
Indie in the evenings.
Because I think I won last week with a mammoth score of something like late 50s or something like that, with something I can't remember now. But I have a feeling John, because he got a notification earlier about 5 votes than I did, has probably won this week. So do you want to release your ones for me first? Because I have a hunch I'm going to lose, so I'm going to go first.
Yep, go on then, Laurence. How many did you get?
I got just Fetching Yak.
Fetching Yak.
I haven't upvoted it, just proving it to you. I got 11. Haven't upvoted it. What did you get, John?
Laurence got 11.
Which isn't very good. I'll tell you what it is.
Decent. So I got 14.
Oh, you got 14 last week too, and you didn't upvote it.
I didn't upvote it. So
now we can. I'm just going to do that now.
We are now drawing on the Yik Yak game. That is 1-1.
What was your winning yak?
So I didn't actually do this, but I was struggling to think of a yak, so I was just like, oh, this will do. When voting in the elections becomes a form of procrastination, because I have seen people do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know,
I was doing that.
No matter if it's procrastination or not, you should vote in the elections.
Yeah.
Democracy, people, come on, exercise your right to vote. Things actually change.
And don't worry if you don't know any of the manifestos or much about the position. Just vote for someone that you know, because that's what most people do. And vote for... Ideally, read the manifestos and, do it properly. But, you can do it like most people do.
Or it could just be a massive popularity contest.
Or you can just look at the pictures of the people running and find someone that you like on there and just vote for them. Or run everyone. Preferably don't do that. Or you could
run everybody, but don't do that, because there are some very good people running, so...
And don't run the people who are running unopposed. That's just mean. Anyway,
that is just mean.
So that was yours. Here's the losing yak. Mine.
Nice.
In the horrible situation of wanting to end my education as soon as possible, but also wanting an eternity to write my dissertation.
I feel that. Yeah, definitely. Third year feels right there.
I'm glad I got double digits.
Yeah, that's good. At least you didn't get voted off. I'm excited for the week when that happens to us.
Oh God, I really dread.
I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. So that is the end of this week's Indie in the Evenings. Thank you very much for listening. You can check out the this episode of Indie in the Evenings along with all the other ones on our YouTube channel. Go to KUBE Radio Kiel on YouTube. You can also catch our live stream of the elections coverage, Question Time. If you're trying to think of who to vote for, you can watch the footage on there. So yeah, this has been Indie in the Evenings. I've been John.
I've been Laurence.
Thank you for listening. We will be back from 9 till 11 next Tuesday, unless something else happens. But we'll let you know this time.
See you next Tuesday.
Yep. See you next Tuesday. I can't believe we haven't said that yet.
Actually, I was literally thinking that. We probably haven't noticed.
Probably.
I don't know.
So we're going to close the show with Long Division by Death Cab for Cutie. We're also going to play a new song by Lonely the Brave, When You Fall... What If You Fall In. Hair out.
Thoughts?
No comment.